The corporate bro code, the only code you'll ever need.
Hey, I'm Arvind Anand. Put your synergy in the trash. It's time for some real logic. So, I'm so excited to host my very first podcast episode of the Corporate Bro Code channel. And I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Rajesh here, who happens to be my awesome colleague. So, we work together every day. So, he is a product manager. So, hi, Rajesh. Welcome to the very first episode. Very happy that you're joining us.
Hey, Arvind. Thanks for hosting me, and I hope I'll give you the best of the content.
Sure. That's what this channel is all about, right? Unfiltered logic. So ultimately, we just want people to really understand as to, okay, so this is the product management world, but what's really going on? A lot of aspiring product managers are there. So I would just want to give that perspective to the audience as to like how this whole product management ecosystem is kind of evolving and then like what we can see in the future.
Sure, Arvind.
So, I'll start off with a very easier one, right? Why did you become a PM? Did you choose the product manager role or like did the product manager role choose you?
So, yeah, actually, I have pivoted strategically, I would say, in my journey to a product manager role. Um, there are multiple nuances to it. I am born in a business family, and naturally, I'm inclined to think like a businessman or take ownership. And after working for a couple of roles, not at all aligned with product management per se, but eventually I have pivoted to product management. Yeah.
Amazing. Good to know. Certain people like really like doing this job. Certain people kind of like get into the job like due to the nature of the work that they have done. So I'm glad like you really chose this as your career and then like you are excelling in it. Thank you. So, I mean, I'll just ask you, right? Like if you want to explain like what a product manager does to a 5-year old, or like let's say your parents who think like yes you're on calls all day, so what would be the easiest explanation that you would give for
So at the core of product management, it's very simple. There are problems out there, even for a 5-year-old kid or a 60-year-old. The problems could be very different. Like a 5-year-old might be needing a chocolate on a given particular instance, and a 60-year-old might need a massage maybe. These problems exist out there, and
that?
product manager or even a businessman or an entrepreneur, we say, right?
Hmm.
So these people keep thinking about, hey, there exists my customer, and these are
Mhm.
the problems that particular customer is having. And then the product manager thinks like a businessman or like an entrepreneur, and empathizes with the customer. I mean, it could be the 5-year-old or it could be the 60-year-old. Empathizes with this customer, and he builds up something. I mean, it not necessarily need to be a software per se. It could be any product. I mean,
Mhm.
for a 5-year-old, just using sugar and creating something out of kitchen, a candy, like you don't have to actually buy. You could create a candy yourself, right? And then
Mhm.
productize this, meaning you created something of value, and you're not just giving it to your kid, but you're also selling it outside. So this
Okay.
is what at the core of a product management is that emphasizing with customer, getting the technology, getting the funding, and then creating a product and then productizing that product, meaning selling it, multiplying it. uh, that is what is at the core of it, as simple as it.
Amazing perspective. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. So now that you have been the product manager right from like 2010's time maybe, and then like possibly like you see that we are right now in 2026 with all this whole ecosystem kind of like completely changing in early 2000s or like in early 90s we had the computers that kind of changed the whole dynamic, then we had the internet, and right now like we are kind of having this whole AI. So do you think that this AI is almost as transitional as the other ones?
Okay, so yeah, firstly, I've graduated in 2013. So yeah, my corporate world started after 2013. But having said that, back in 2013, product management was not that predominant. Like we would have projects and there were project managers, and then slowly the customer started seeing the agile way of working. Customer as in the client. Then the agile practices kicked in heavily in 2000s, and I think I cannot exactly say at when, but I think it peaked around 2013, 2015, when the agile mindset or the agile way of iteration started kicking in. And having
Mm-hmm.
said that, coming back to your question, yes, product management has evolved. Uh, while the core essence still remains the same, but the product manager
Mm-hmm.
of back then and product manager of today has been equipped with completely different tool sets. And agreed that AI has come in. While the essence do remain that we are still solving the problems for the customer, a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
customer don't know that they have these problems, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we are solving something for the future. At the same time, today we are equipped with so many tools, AI tools especially, that
Mm-hmm.
the work can be fast tracked, especially for the startups, the 0 to 1 startups,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and yeah, even for the the companies like which have heavy workflow based solutions, there as well, AI does help, maybe not as much
Mm-hmm.
as um, uh, it can be for a 0 to 1 startup.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, like I can also see a lot of things changing. Yeah, because I have been in this whole field for like 20 years, so I can see how this whole ecosystem is changing. Uh, Amazing. So, coming to this AI, right? I mean, like, so do you think like AI is just a glorified chatbot? Because I know like a lot of articles are being published, and then like you are seeing a lot of latest news that yes. So once we got to know about ChatGPT is when people realized like there is a concept called artificial intelligence. But AI has been there in the industry like right from like early
Right.
2000s, and then like it has been there ever since. But the publicity or the visibility to the general public kind of came right around that close to the 2022, right around that time when ChatGPT came in, right? So, I mean, how do you think this whole AI is helping you as a product manager?
Okay, so I see there are multiple questions in this, but I'll try to structure it question by question. So, yes, AI has existed for a long time, but only after ChatGPT or the latest LLMs were introduced, it got democratized. Why do I say democratized? Because earlier, when we talk about AI, we talk about ML models or like very specific use cases which were
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
residing in silos. It was not
Mm-hmm.
publicly available, right? So AI, because it became democratized, it has become very much accessible, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna stay. That's for sure, no doubt about it. And
Mm-hmm.
like when we listen to Jay Almar or you know some of the top leaders in AI space, we hear that for the first time, an algorithm, when fed with more data, is becoming more accurate. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what like is a huge difference between the old ML models or the AI models and what we have today. And it did not happen just like that. The
Mm-hmm.
compute power has shot up like anything. Data
Mm-hmm.
has gone up like anything, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all of this being open source,
Mm-hmm.
like be it GitHub or Stack Overflow or the
Mm-hmm.
Reddit or all the. I mean, it's the community and the data
Mm-hmm.
that they have used, they have thrived on,
Mm-hmm.
and the compute power which has gone significantly high has helped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it's like all of the synergies came together, and then
Mm.
this has happened. It's not like
A
it's a
one day
point in
thing.
time where
Not it just
yeah,
kind of like just didn't happen on one day. Like possibly it was a gradual growth. People didn't realize that.
yep,
Amazing,
totally.
amazing.
uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, coming
So
to the
how is this
last part.
helping you from the product management perspective? So that's what I'll be more interested towards listening.
Yeah, so the way I see it, there are three kinds of product managers today.
Mm-hmm.
A product manager who is actually using ChatGPT or any of the AI tools or Claude or anything, and then creating
Mm-hmm.
PRDs. Right, this is something
Okay.
that is expected out of anyone today. Like
Mm-hmm.
we can't have a product manager who is not using AI for building a PRDs or requirements or features or stories, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and
Mm-hmm.
then this is the first kind of product manager. Right, then there are
Mm-hmm.
second kind of managers who are actually implementing the AI solutions. Right now,
Ah.
using these AI solutions is one thing, and actually putting a solution that works in production is a different thing. Like when we are saying
Mm-hmm.
in production, I mean this AI solution needs to work for a large set of people. Like, it should scale, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the second kind of product managers who are using AI to build. It could be a deterministic system or a probabilistic system, doesn't matter. Depending on the kind
Mm-hmm.
of problem that they are solving, they're actually putting a
Mm-hmm.
solution in the production. Right. This is the second
Mm-hmm.
set of product managers. And the third set of product managers are the core product managers who are actually building these AI
Ah.
slash LLM models. Like these
Mm-hmm.
are very
Mm-hmm.
few, rare in numbers, but they
Mm-hmm.
exist. Right.
Okay.
Having said these are three main categories. There is a fourth
I
category,
think I
right?
think you missed the fourth one, the generalist product manager who doesn't want to really get on the
No,
AI bandwagon.
no, there is no. I mean, I mean, honestly, I think like there is no escape. Like we cannot have anymore. At least, be it for designing,
Uh-huh,
be it for market research. I mean, AI is everywhere, right? Not just in product management per se. Even a doctor today, right? Given amount of
uh-huh,
knowledge that AI has been given, or like we can
uh-huh,
repurpose
mhm,
every occupation out there, probably in some form or other. Some maybe
mhm,
less, some maybe more. Is getting
mhm,
impacted, I would say. Yeah, by
mhm,
AI. Um,
mhm,
yeah, the fourth
mhm.
kind of the product managers are those who are the 0 to 1 builders, right?
Ah, ah,
For the
ah,
first time in history, a product
mm,
manager has been equipped with tools like maybe Claude, Cowork, or
mhm,
maybe Cursor, or
mhm,
anti-gravity, whatever. So for the first time in history, I mean, like
mm,
development has been democratized. Today,
mhm,
if somebody is very curious about a problem and they don't have to worry about how to develop it, right?
mhm,
So this is the biggest change. Like we will see for
mm,
sure, like product managers as a single one-person company as well,
mm,
who know a problem, who empathize with
mm,
customers, and who are
mhm,
building what we say out of their garage, right? And we
mhm,
will see a lot of companies with 1 person, maybe 2 person, 5 person companies
mhm.
building like $1 million products.
Wow, amazing perspective, amazing. But yeah, over the same lines, I just want to have a follow-up question. So now that you came into that whole zero employee kind of thing, and then like people running like let's say small language models in their local systems, trying to do their own business or whatever that they are doing, right? So,
Mhm,
I mean, I'm just trying to understand. Okay, so let's say somebody is building some application using a tool like end-to-end solution, production ready solution, right? So now we are in 2026. The
mhm,
power it takes to generate those responses are kind of like relatively less, and then the number of tokens again every LLM model or like every product gives you or like limited, and then like you go to the next levels they'll be giving you. But again, like it's not like an unlimited thing that you normally get, but you still have like a cap for a monthly usage or anything, right? So now
mhm,
my question is, right now, if let's say I'm going to be building a product. So
mhm.
how easy is it going to be to manage? How successful do you think I may be with maintaining the product? And then how do you think like for let's say 5 years down the line, how is the cost? Let's say like we are talking about the initial capital cost. So now we are getting rid of the capital cost, but it will be more like an operational cost. But over the time, would that operational cost catch up with the capital cost that they would have kind of like invested in people and then over the time like possibly save the money in people? Or like how do you think, what is your perspective on
Okay, so because I haven't scaled an AI using tokens, I'm gonna quote something like Sridhar Vembu said in one of his
that?
interviews. So
Mm,
he's the founder of Zoho and many other
Zoho.
applications. So
Mm,
like I have only built applications using AI. So the first part of your question is that it's very easy today to build applications, not at all a
mm,
problem. But yes, you're
mhm,
right in saying that the tokens, the compute power gets added up as the application size builds
mhm,
up, right?
mhm,
And that does happen, and that is where like we still need developers, right? Like it's not that when I said in past it's now easy to build an application, it indeed is, but
mhm,
we need to separate what needs to be deterministic versus what needs to be given to AI. That's how
mm,
that is one of the ways to reduce the compute power. And you mentioned about small language models, right? So if you
mhm,
have something that is in your system that is very um, how do I put it, very siloed knowledge,
mhm. Knowledge.
which is not
Mm,
out there public, which is not out there public. So this siloed
mhm,
knowledge can be used to create a small language model and then run it
mm,
in your local. Then you don't have any local, as in yeah, when you have your
mm.
own server or like
Systems. Yeah.
very, at a very
Okay.
low cost, very low compute
Mhm,
cost because you have your own
mhm,
LLM. It could be
mhm,
much cheaper. Like these are all some of the
mhm,
ways. But to answer
mhm,
your core question, like how do we reduce the operational cost of these
mm,
token usage?
mm,
So what I'm seeing is a trend out there that people are wanting to use multiple models For example,
Mm,
Haiku has lesser number of context for a given problem.
mhm,
Initially,
mhm,
they use Haiku, for example, and
mm,
then it segregates which piece of the problem needs to go where, right? So
mm,
um, that is one of the ways. But again, quoting back to Sridhar Vembu, what he said was at this point in time, it's not
mm,
sustainable to just use the tokens left, right, center. Like it is eating up
mm,
into the operational cost and
mhm,
the solutions. I mean, like without a proof or empirical proof that a particular solution is working, we shouldn't
mm,
actually put it into production. And again,
mm,
I'll quote back what he said in one of the interviews is that because companies are like not putting a cap or not completely giving a free hand to everybody because they don't want to
mm,
probably be behind in the race of AI. um,
mhm,
they have to cut the expenditure somehow, right? And apparently the easiest
mm,
form to cut expense is reducing number of people working
mhm,
for a particular company. So
mm,
we could see that happening with multiple companies. Every day we
mhm.
see some form of the news.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one article I read this. Typically, we had these big companies where, let's say, 4,000 employees were working. Now it will be like 400 different companies, and then 10 employees will be working in each company.
Yeah,
So that's the kind of
possibly.
perspective which I kind of saw like when this AI hype started building, and then like I'm seeing like things are going towards that. A lot of startups are coming, and pretty much successful startups to be honest. Like with AI adoption. So with this whole AI, do you think like this artificial intelligence is a bubble like that's going to burst, or like do you think like the AI will be able to sustain the pressure, and then we will also be like living with this AI like in 2035, like let's say like 2035 or 36, like 10 years from now? Do you think like we will be able to live with this AI? What do you think? For me personally, like I have a young daughter, so ultimately I'm just concerned about the way this AI is going to impact their kind of memory, all those things. So now there are two questions. One is like, do you think AI will be able to sustain the pressure? And the second thing is, what do you think it's going to have an impact as on us, the human beings?
I would say answer would be yes for all your questions. So yes, AI is a bubble, right?
Uh-huh.
The reason why I say it is because at the core of it, it recognizes patterns out of the data that it has, and there is only
Mhm,
so much data that is available publicly, right? So
mhm,
companies have huge, tremendous amount of data sitting inside their servers that are hosted within an intranet network, right? For
uh-huh,
example, manufacturing
uh-huh,
companies. These are
uh-huh,
all not public data, right? Or be it the engineering drawings, etc. So there are lots of data out there which are very core and very specific to a respective industry that is not public yet. So
mm,
once the amount of data is consumed, and
mm,
now what we are seeing is like there are hundreds of bots operating just on Reddit, and AI is answering those questions, right? The human
mm,
part of it is going away and the AI
mm,
part of it is coming in. So it's like AI
mm.
feeding into AI, right? So
Ah,
um,
yeah.
at some point in time, what I understand from various sources is that around 27, 28,
Mm-hmm.
that peak comes wherein there is no more new human data
Ah,
that we can give it to AI. And
AI.
although,
Mm,
like initial part of the podcast, I was saying for the first time, if we are giving more
mm,
data, the models are getting more accurate. But what if the data
mm,
itself is corrupted? What if the data
ah,
itself is not the way we want to? So yeah, there will be a peak in terms of
mm.
where the accuracy of AI would reach to,
The saturation
and
point will be there. Mm, mm, mm,
yes.
mm,
So at that point in time, like we see that there is, for example, Sonnet 4.5 then 4.6. We don't see like every day from Sonnet 4 to it's going to Sonnet 5, right? The
uh-huh,
base model will, there will be many wrappers specialized to solve
mm,
different problems. But
mm,
the base models we won't see changing as fast, uh, right? So that
mm.
is one part.
Okay.
And to answer your another question regarding, I mean, if it's a bubble, yes.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, it's a capitalist world, and
uh-huh,
on one side there is a huge narrative to fund the AI, and it's the next
uh-huh.
big thing. So
Exactly.
uh, it's backed by many venture capitalists. Huge amount of trillions of dollars are going into AI ecosystem. So
Mm-hmm,
so that's there, but it's only sustainable when you or I or a lot of companies are actually purchasing these products, right?
mm-hmm,
So there will be a cycle when this reset would happen.
Mhm.
The demand supply chain, the equation would break, wherein if
Mhm.
companies act selfishly, and
Mhm.
there will be a point in time. There's only so much cost cutting a company could do, and the
Mhm.
consumption would reduce. I mean, there
Okay.
is no empirical evidence or equations or anything as such, but
Mhm.
yeah, at some point in time, this demand supply curve breaks, and then profits would be chopped, and that is
Mhm.
when this bubble would actually get burst. I mean, not at this point in time,
Mhm.
maybe not even in near future. By near future, maybe not even 1 year. It would take time.
Mhm.
These macroeconomic
Mhm.
factors take a lot of time, right?
Mhm.
So then the third part of the question is how would it shape up the younger generation, right? It will,
Mhm.
and uh, it will, and what I believe is that the young children must be still uh, be thought about the empathy, values, and
Mhm.
the logical ability, right, to solve puzzles for themselves without
Mhm.
having an
Mhm.
additional intelligence play into
Mhm.
their mindset. So
Mhm.
it will be both ways. AI will be
Mhm.
shaping up the generations, and the generations will also shape
Mhm.
up the AI. So it will be both ways, and we will see, I believe, a generation where like for us how a web browser is a normal thing, like
Mhm.
soon, or maybe it's already a reality that people, instead of opening up a browser, are opening an AI application.
AI
So it will become
application. Yeah.
a normal thing.
That's exactly what I have been doing recently. Like, I mean, instead of opening a normal search engine, I kind of go to these AI tools and then I search for whatever I need. The best thing is, I mean, like, see, AI kind of knows what I need and it's trying to customize the answers. Not all the time, but still,
Yeah.
I'm able to get almost like 60, 70% of what I would normally get like after 5 minutes of search, which I see is a very good productivity increase. I mean, amazing perspective. A last question on this, and then we will get on to a rapid, quick fire questions, and then we will wrap it up. Okay.
Yep.
So, as product managers, or let's say as engineers, should people
Hmm.
worry about their jobs? Because that's exactly where this entire thing is going. A lot of people kind of feel vulnerable at this point. That okay,
Hmm.
so AI is kind of like trying. Is it going to take over my job today? If not today, next month, or if not next month, next year. So, what is your perspective on that? Should people be concerned? If you think otherwise, I mean, like possibly I would want to listen to your perspective on why do you think it is?
Yeah. So it's very straightforward answer that if you are a PM not using AI, you should be worried. If you are a PM, you're using AI, and a role that's evolving is called AI product managers. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a new term, fancy word to say product manager who is equipped working with AI and
Prompt
implementing AI.
engineer.
But yeah,
So I
pro-
mean that's the thing, right? Are prompt engineers AI product managers? I just want to clarify that.
no, no.
No.
AI
Okay.
product managers would actually understand the requirements and also build an MVP. So
Okay.
they would be fluent enough to build a first version for themselves. If nothing, at least a static HTML page. That
Mm,
that sim this single transition itself would speed up the process of
mm.
making developers understand what the requirement is so fast, right? So
Got it. Got it.
a
Got it.
PMs uh, would be the bottleneck, I would say, like
Mm.
because the development will become or is already so fast. The PM
Mm-hmm.
supposed to get as many requirements as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that the
Mm-hmm.
developers could work on as many requirements. So the velocity of shipping
Exactly.
features has already shot up like
Increased.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I mean, AI is kind of like disrupting both the development engineering side as well as the product side. So it's kind of like both of us, I think, need to catch up with each other, or else one group is going to go ahead. And then it's always going to be like you're going to see that imbalance that, okay,
Yeah,
so I'm not getting the requirements, or I'm getting the requirements, the delivery is not being done. So you're always going to have the kind of a parallel track that's going to go. But ultimately, at the end of the day, both of us, both the groups need to be equipped like engineers or the product managers. But a very good perspective. So your final answer, should we be worried or not about the jobs? What is your take on that?
yeah. Worry if you're not using AI, or worry if you are not
Okay.
actually preparing on, like, there are so many posts on the LinkedIn out there about this
Mm-hmm.
fear. But when I speak to
Mm.
people in general, um,
Ah,
I mean, like, if you're so worried, why don't you put an hour a day into building yourself,
ah,
right? I mean,
exactly. Upscaling
so
is one
it's
thing. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, like, instead of every day being worried, like, just start one day, and
Mm-hmm.
in 30 days, I'm sure, like, the amount of knowledge just spending an hour would be tremendous. So yes, yeah,
Oh
those
yeah.
people not using AI should be worried.
That's a very good take. I mean, like I use the 30 days learn Kannada book. I think like I have done a very good job in reading that. So I think like we need to maybe like come up with a learn AI in 30 days. Maybe people will be very much interested in learning that. That amazing perspective. Thank you, Rajesh. So we'll get right into the quick fire. Possibly some questions which you think like we just would. I mean, like I would appreciate if you can give like a one word or like a sentence answer, so that would appropriately capture it. So,
Sure.
ChatGPT or your own brain?
Mix of both.
Both. Okay. So is LinkedIn a networking tool or a professional hallucination?
It's a powerful tool, networking tool.
Powerful tool. Perfect. So now, coffee at your desk or a 45-minute chai break?
45 minutes is stretch, but yeah, chai break.
Chai break. I get that. Okay. So writing a query yourself or asking the developer for the fifth time?
Writing the query myself.
Writing a query yourself. Okay. So at 10 p.m., your IM message from your team needing help, would you ignore or would you work on
It depends on the situation. But if there is no
it?
critical release as such, I would say like let's park it for tomorrow. If there is a
Okay.
release or something like that, then yeah, of course, I'm there for them.
Okay. Awesome. So describe the future of a product manager in just one word. I know it's difficult,
Think,
but the last question,
uh,
I saved it for the last. One word.
yeah, one word. I mean, I'll use two words: build and repeat.
Build and repeat. Amazing perspective. Thank you, Rajesh, for your perspectives. I mean, it was really a good podcast session. I mean, like, I'm glad like we had a very good conversation around like how AI is kind of shaping this whole product management or the engineering community, and then how AI is evolving. And thank you very much for providing your insights on a lot of different topics. I mean, if you guys like this channel, like, please hit the subscribe button, and then like provide us the feedback. And if you probably are not hitting the subscribe button, I think like you need to get to a meeting. So yeah, we'll see you next time. But thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Bye.
The corporate